What?
Just looking at Navi. Kind of a dick butt.
She can leave.
So what's going on, everybody? Welcome back to, I guess, what we're officially calling Mailbox Thursdays.
Mailbox Thursdays?
Mailbox Thursdays.
I love mailboxes.
Mailboxes are the best. Anyway, shut up. Anyways, so I guess the official day is going to be Thursdays here. There are two things I want to bring up. Whenever we get emails, we're getting quite a few. It is pretty hard to filter through. So we're coming to the conclusion that if you guys want your questions asked for like the Mailbox Thursdays, can you guys please put in the subject line Mailbox Thursdays? Because we've been getting a lot of people emailing us questions that they'd like to be asked for, like AAA Mondays. And to go along with that, if you guys actually do want the AAA Mondays, I will read the emails that you guys get from there, and I might choose from there whether or not it's from the comments, the subreddit Minecraft, or in the email. So if you guys actually do send an email, be sure to tag it as AAA Monday question. And
you talk so fast there, I don't even understand what you said.
Well, it's professional. So.
It's professional. We are going to write this all down in the description, right?
Yeah.
Okay, good.
Don't worry. Everything will be in the description down below. And the first... yeah, right? I mean... Okay, I was going to say, like, the first person, but we got to say, you know, we're not like professionals in any way, shape, or form. These are merely our own opinions. We are dumb. You guys want our advice, and Andrea's old, so she gets...
Shut up!
This is our...
Why you gotta make fun of my age every time?
Because with age comes wisdom.
If you didn't like it, you wouldn't be with me.
I'm 24, you're 28. All I'm saying is you're smarter than me. You have better advice because you're old. You've learned...
That was almost a good save, and then you had to mention the old thing again.
But you are old.
Can we just answer the questions, please?
Okay, the first question is, hey, Paz, I need some relationship advice. I met a guy through World of Warcraft 4 years ago this August. We met while I was tanking heroic Arcatraz and was failing quite miserably at my role. Instead of raging at me, he was nice and offered me some tips on how to improve. After that, we talked in-game whenever possible, and at some point, I started seeing him as more than just a friend of me. We started to send each other emails when either of us could play WoW. And when we both stopped playing a few months after the release of Cataclysm, we started talking on Facebook. The next step now would be to meet each other in real life. But that's where the problem lies. I live in BC and he lives in California. Our parents don't know about our relationship and neither of us can afford to meet each other on our own. I'm graduating from high school this year and he still has one more year to go, and we also need money to put towards post-secondary school. What should I do? And I figured Andrea would probably be the best candidate for this question because she actually has a friend who has a boyfriend. He lives down in the States as well, right?
Used to.
Oh, did he move here or something?
Well, I'll explain.
Okay. She'll explain it right here.
First, I just want to say, heroic Arcatraz, oh my god, memories. So many memories.
Scrub.
I really liked Botanica, but Arcatraz was super, super fun. Anyways, it just so happens I have a friend, or well, I guess we used to be friends. It's been a while since we last talked. But anyways, she had the exact same problem. She lived here in Winnipeg, and she met someone over WoW who lives in California. So, unfortunately, it sounds like you're 18, I guess, or you're going to be 18 soon. It sounds like he's 17, which is a bit of a problem because, you know, you're still in school and everything. Luckily, my friend was out of school in her early 20s, and I think so was he. And it worked out really well for them. They were basically like dating each other online for, oh god, I can't even remember, like a year, I think. And then she flew down to California for vacation, and they met, and then he ended up moving closer to her. I forget where, somewhere near Minneapolis, I think. Anyways, and then I don't know if he moved here yet, but last time I talked to them, they were seeing each other pretty regularly. So long-distance relationships can totally work, but where you're in a situation where you're still as young as you are, like, it's basically just a waiting game. Like, nobody... The fact that you met and connected over WoW is awesome, but it's also the most horrible, horrible thing when you meet that awesome, awesome person and you live a world away from each other. Yeah. So it goes. Well, all you can really do in this situation is just, you know, concentrate on trying to graduate from high school, you know, get good grades, do what you can, you know, plan on what you're going to do with your future, but no one says you have to go to post-secondary right after you graduate either. If you guys want to put the priority on meeting each other after you're done graduating, then no one says you can't save up money from part-time jobs or full-time jobs or whatever, and just, you know.
Or if you do like the part-time job, what you could do is like put like, you know, $25 or $50 every paycheck away and, you know, slowly save up that way. That's
It's true. No one says you can't start now. It's entirely possible to do part-time and finish high school with good grades. You just have to concentrate and, you know, do your best there. But it's basically just priorities. Do you want to save up all your money right towards post-secondary and go straight into post-secondary? Or do you guys want to take the time to meet each other and see if it could, you know, seriously go somewhere? It's kind of up to you, but it is possible to have a very awesome relationship. Sometimes that one person for you, that perfect person who is perfect in every way, is just really far away, and you got to work to make it, you know, happen. So
don't let anyone tell you that online relationships don't work.
Yeah, exactly. If you are
even
talking,
your parents.
Exactly. If you're talking to someone and you're, you know, you guys get along perfect, and you know, and you legit know this person's a real person over the internet, like you've seen them, you've talked to them, you know, and you get to know them, don't let anyone tell you that's weird or it's not going to work or whatever, because it totally can. Sometimes, and it might take a lot of extra work to make it happen, but you know what?
Worth it.
It could definitely be worth it.
All right, so the next question comes from Jack. My wife and I live in Europe, where she has been doing her PhD in hard science for a couple years now. We are starting our 30s, and we got married shortly after arriving here from our native country in Latin America. Maybe the pressure of her career, maybe living in a foreign country, maybe she's gaining a little weight, whatever the reason, her anxiety and stress levels have been quite alarming for a while. I suspected at the time she suffered from social anxiety, since her most obvious symptom are panic attacks at the prospect of leaving home and interact with other people. When this happens, logic reasoning is completely replaced by profound fear of impending doom. Being people judging her for her weight on the bus or in the gym, or her advisors realizing she's no good and firing her. Getting outside the house is a challenge for her. Many hours are lost once every other day just by worrying about pretty much everything. In this logicless state, I'm unable to help her, and it breaks my heart. Then I showed her your video where you briefly talked about your anxiety disorder. She felt that she wasn't alone under condition, and hopeful by knowing that other people with the similar problems can live with them and overcome them. For that, I will forever be grateful to you. Thank you. Since then, she's been reading The Worry Cure, and it's helping her overcome her generalized anxiety disorder, although we still have a long way ahead of us to beat this. My question to you, more than we could fit in an episode, so instead I'm asking you to share with her more of your experiences, what have worked for you and whatnot. I think hearing it will make her happier, more confident, and less lonely. I'm also very interested in Andrea's view in all of this. I usually feel useless and powerless, while the love of my life is having this terrible feelings and fears. How do you cope with this, Andrea? What do you do to help them? Thank you both.
First of all, I just want to say it is amazing of you to stand by her through all of this and do everything you can to help her. That is a lot more than most people would do in that situation. So many times people think that anxiety disorders aren't a real disorder, that they're, you know, that people are being lazy or they're being stupid, or, you know, it's not a legitimate thing that is happening to someone. They don't realize how incredibly terrifying having anxiety attacks is, because while you're going through them, you totally cannot get out of them. Until you've actually worked on it and it's been a while and you're starting to learn coping skills, or you've started to figure out what the problem is being caused by, it is an absolutely terrifying experience, especially when it's first happening. So I just want to say that is amazing, and thank you for standing by her, because, you know, more people need supportive partners like you.
Like me.
So anyways, why don't you share some of the stuff that happened with you with anxiety?
Well, I guess like the very first panic attack that I've ever like experienced, and again, I told a lot of people that I have like a giant fear of like thinking about like the end of the world and all that, and so of course like panic attacks don't really help with that, because like you said, you get that feeling of impending doom, and I know a lot of this stuff is like, suffice it to say, just bullshit, and obviously, you know, people have been like saying that the end of the world is going to be happening since day one. And for me, I think it was like in 2006 where they said like June 6, 2006, 666 is gonna be like the end of the world. And I was a bit more, I was quite old. Well, not old, but I was like around like 15, 16. And, obviously, like I mentioned before, that the first time hearing about the end of the world was when I was quite young, the new millennium, where, how all the power in the entire world would like shut down.
The clocks are all going to reset. They're all going to go back to zero, and the world's going to collapse.
Yeah, and that's where I think everything kind of stemmed from. I was just like laying in my parents' bed while watching, the whole New Year's happening, and obviously my dad told me that it's not going to end because it's like New Year's over in like Australia and China. But still, to that day, I've been like afraid of the end of the world and everything. So every single time I hear about something, it kind of just makes me really think and just kind of like panic, and because it's a scary thought. So, and I whenever I get into that thought, I'm a very pessimistic guy when it comes to stuff like that. I do not know why. I don't know where that stems from, but again, going back to 2006, that's when it was like a week prior to the 6th, I guess, and I couldn't sleep, so staying up every night and being like restless, that really kind of brought it out even more. So I wasn't getting enough sleep. I was constantly worrying and thinking, and just it got to a point where I was like staying up in the middle of the night just shaking, and I just like breathing heavily, and I just couldn't overcome it myself. So sometimes it does take like time to just get out of that whole mind thought, and obviously the 7th kind of brought that out. And I know you guys are probably making fun of me, but I was young. I don't care. Shut up. And but I didn't. I had panic attacks throughout my my later teens and early 20s and all that. But it wasn't until I met Andrea where I was able to actually start like overcoming them, because it's something you don't want to talk to your parents about, or your brother.
Well, you
or
feel
siblings.
embarrassed. Nobody believes you, or they think it's silly that you're freaking out. But it's like the same thing as with a phobia. It's a completely mindless, irrational panic that happens to you, and there's nothing you can do about it while it's happening. It's terrifying.
Mm-hmm. So after having my panic attack with Andrea, she's the one who was able to help me deal with them mostly. So I guess I'll pass off. How do you cope with this, and what did you do to help me and all that?
Well, I used to get panic attacks. Like I don't get paranoid or anything, or I never did. And my panic attacks weren't that crazy. Like I didn't have really, really rough ones. I know lots of people suffer way more than I did. But I used to get like these vague panic attacks. I forget why I used to get them. When I was in high school, I was extremely stressed out all the time, and I never ever slept well, and I was always sick, and it was terrible. And I think it all just compounded into one great big ball of anxiety. And basically what I learned how to do was relax myself. And that's basically what I taught Alex, is I know it's not going to work for everybody. Some people really need medication for it sometimes to manage it until they can start overcoming it by themselves without the help of medication.
And again, there's no shame in that.
Absolutely not. You can't help it. You have to do whatever it takes to, because you're never going to feel like you're getting better unless you can rejoin society. That's a big part of it too, is it sort of separates you from society, and so you feel like a big outcast, and that doesn't help, because that just compounds more on the anxiety. You get stressed out, and you get anxious, and then you have a panic attack. And then you think, oh, how am I going to function in society? And you panic some more. And it's a horrible, horrible cycle. Anyways, all I basically taught Alex to do was, well, I guess not all, because it's amazing how far he's come. But the first thing I taught Alex was relaxing breathing exercises. Basically, all you do is you lie on your back and you breathe deeply. You breathe in through your mouth, and you let your whole stomach fill up. It's like baby breathing. You breathe in and you fill up your whole, you fill your lungs to capacity. Make sure your stomach is out, right? Like you're breathing through your stomach. And then you breathe it all out again through your mouth. And you just keep breathing deeply. And that basically what you're doing is you're taking in more oxygen. You're making yourself a bit high, so that calms you down a bit. And then what's the other? Oh, and then there's also I don't know what to call it, but it's like physical body tension release. And what you do is you tense your entire body like as hard as you can. You focus first, like you tense it bit by bit. You start with your toes and you tense your toes as hard as you can. You hold it for like 10 seconds, and then you move up to the ball of your feet, and then your ankles and your calves and your thighs, and you just move your way all the way up your body and then to your extremities again. And you do that, and you just keep breathing, and it's basically relaxing yourself out of the panic state. And the hardest part about it, because these techniques do actually really work, the hardest part is reminding yourself to do them. I think that was the hardest for me, was like trying to like realize, oh, I'm panicking, I really got to do something about it, and then forcing yourself to start calming down. That's basically what it is. So if any of that works for your wife, I really hope it helps a little bit. But if not, like Alex said, there's no shame in going on medication if she needs it to get herself feeling a bit better.
And again, I think the best thing that what you're doing is just by being with her, and just when she's actually, if she does have panic attacks, just lay by her and just talk with her. And if you have to talk with her, just walk through the steps like what just Andrea just said there. And that's what I did, and I just focused on her voice, focused on my breathing, and doing that tonight. That's how I overcame them before they were like a full-blown panic attack. So
yeah, catching them before they go full-blown is also really helpful. Yeah, just talk to her. Let her talk it out. And basically play, what's that game where you come, pros and cons? Basically, she'll tell you all the cons, and then you tell her all the pros. Like, if she's worried about something, you tell her, oh, no, don't worry about that. It's totally, that's not what's happening. You're okay. Just, be there for her. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So the next question comes in from David, and he asks, or says, whoops, I suck. He asks it at the end. I noticed you are getting a lot of serious questions, so I thought I'd make mine a less serious one. And again, guys, you guys don't always have to ask serious ones. You can ask, gaming questions.
Yeah, anything. Any random stuff. If you want to ask how to do your hair, I'm not the one to ask, but, you can ask.
I can tell you how to do your hair. Anyways, back to being serious here. Like David wanted to know, I noticed you are getting a lot of serious questions, so I thought I'd make mine a less serious one. Ever since I was younger, I'm currently 14, I've always wanted to become a game developer. I've been working hard toward it for years. I learned how to make my own website, I run my own Minecraft server, I started learning Visual Basics and then C++. I've also been working hard and doing a lot of tutorials, but not getting anywhere. I couldn't start coding something simple without a reference or tutorial. But then there are people who I know who aren't as smart doing voxel engines. Sure, they are a little older, 16, but still, should I give up? Simple question is no. I mean, you don't get anywhere in life just by doing that. I mean, like, even for myself, like, for instance, for me to learn, like, basic editing, like, back then, I always had to look up YouTube tutorials. And, now that I've gotten this far, I try not to do it, and I try and learn it on myself, but I'm not ashamed. If I'm trying to learn something, obviously you want to go online and learn like the very basics at least, and I mean that's the same thing with like YouTube itself. For me, for the first couple months, getting subscribers is going to be really, really hard, but if you really want to go for it, you just got to strive for it, and you just got to just grasp it, and
yeah, not everybody learns the same way. Nobody learns at the same rate. So basically it's all about how much do you want to do this. If you want to do it, then you don't give up. You just keep going and you keep doing it.
And at 14, man, I don't even know how to do any stuff like that. I mean, I could, like, run a Minecraft server, but I can't, like, fully run it. I always ask for help from people. And, I mean, don't ever be ashamed to ask for help as well. If you know people, like you said, who are a bit smarter, you can ask them and, see if they have any advice for you. But
exactly. If you have a question and someone is obviously doing it, and they're having an easy time of it, just ask them. Be polite, say please, and they'll more than likely answer you back, because people in this community are pretty friendly.
Man, like I said, you're still 14. You got your whole life ahead of you. Just keep working at it, and, you might get somewhere. And I'm not saying might get somewhere to be, like, condescending or anything, but, just...
Yeah, if you want to do it, you can probably do it. Same with anything. Art,
just anything,
websites.
Man. Just work hard, never give up.
Becoming manager at McDonald's, anything you want. You just gotta work real hard.
Alright, guys, so I just want to quickly thank all of you guys for your questions there, and also I'm sorry if I can't get to your questions. like I said, I was having a hard time trying to siphon through all the emails because I got like questions on, what do you do for YouTube? What do you use for video edit? And, basic just general questions. And not only that, but we are also getting like AAA Monday questions and, mixed in with the Thursday mailbox right here. So again, if you guys could actually put in the subject what it is, if it's AAA Monday question or, Mailbox Thursday or just a general question in general, just be sure to ask that. And, like I said earlier, these don't always have to be serious. And if you guys want our opinion on like stupid DLC or something,
yeah, send us a picture of you in 2 outfits and we'll tell you which one we like better.
That's kind of weird. Don't do that. Don't do that. Andrew is just.
I
gross.
think it would be fun.
No, let's not do that. This is serious topics. Well, not serious.
You just said it doesn't have to be serious.
Yeah, but not pictures. We're not
serious.
judging.
Maybe they're going to a really important dinner and they want to know what looks more classy because they got to make a good impression.
Anyways.
If you have any more advice for the people who ask questions that we read about today, please don't hesitate to comment.
Yeah.
Down below.
Down below.
Oh my god, I'm getting the lingo.
Yes. Anyways, guys, I really hope you guys enjoyed this, and we both shall see you guys on Monday and for Mailbox Thursdays next Thursday. Any last words?
I want some cheesecake.
With age comes wisdom, oldie. Peace out, Girl Scouts.